Hey YouTube, playing a little Peglin today. Whether you're new to this game or you played it before, there's 4 different characters. You start off with the main one, just called Peglin, and you can eventually lock the other 3. But the plan for this series is to start off with the original Peglin, beat it at the base difficulty, and then you have these Cruciball levels that eventually will add additional difficulties each time you beat it, starting at Cruciball 1. And I'm hoping to do a run with each character at each Cruciball level. So let's jump right into Peglin. All right, so at the very beginning, you get a choice of a relic, and I think we're gonna go with molten gold. A little bit extra gold on the battlefield. All right, and in these first few fights, oops, let's get that sped up a little bit. Try to collect as much gold as we can to get us off to a good start. To be able to purchase some stuff in the shops, be able to upgrade some of our orbs, things of that nature. At the base difficulties, the gold collection is a little bit easier. I think you start off with some more gold than you do on some of the higher Crucible levels. Things are generally cheaper, I believe, so not as big of a deal here, but it's probably good practice for when you start getting to higher Crucible levels to, you know, cheese out a couple extra pieces of gold here and there when you can. So all right, choices begin. Where are we going? Nothing here super exciting. Balm, it puts a slime heal, so every time you hit a peg, you heal a little bit. Let's just upgrade our base dag orb and move on. Nothing there was really calling out to me. You can damage yourself by misnavigating here, but you can also collect gold, so maybe we'll kind of focus towards this shop. So maybe we'll try to head right, get another fight. The event could be another fight, you know, so. I didn't think we were going to be able to sneak down and hit that crit over there. So anybody that's new to this game, your orbs have a base damage and a crit damage. The crit damage is the one with yellow exclamation point. If you hit the yellow exclamation point on the board or trigger a crit through some kind of trinket or relic, then you do the crit damage. So, and you can tell you're doing a crit when everything turns red here. All right, we should probably try to hit some of these bombs. We don't currently have any way of targeting the back enemy other than or piercing through. So we either have to wait for him to come to us or bomb damage. So we're probably gonna take a couple hits to the face here, but it's all right. Just enough, just enough. All right, so we can get some buckle orb, gives them bulwark, which is like a defense. We did keep our dag orb. We could try to do some kind of crit build. You can check before you buy them to see how they level up. Sure, we'll take the double trouble. And we're gonna save our money because we are still attempting to go to the shop. Yep, it's fine. Misnavigating is almost a way of life in Peglin. All right, if any of these, maybe the Swult Orb, it buffs up the base damage. Okay. Instead of exiting the pegboard, this orb will return to the top of the pegboard one time to target any enemy. Not a huge fan of this. It does target, which is something we don't have yet. I guess it's usually good to take a peek at the boss. I don't think we really need targeting for this boss, so we're just gonna skip. just with a lot of you know, deck builders and stuff. But you know, you don't have to take a card or an orb every time you see it. You know, you take the ones that kind of synergize with what you're trying to do. The refreshes are stuck over here. So I could try to start digging out towards them, but so this bomb right here is probably gonna, if we could hit it, we'll clear up a lot of trouble. Oh, we should have aimed at that bat that was right in our face. Sometimes I feel like the targeting gets a little screwy. I don't know if you saw the enemy attack twice there. We had to reload our orbs, and the enemies on base difficulty get one extra attack. They essentially get an attack while you get a reload instead of a shot. So take a little more damage than I would have liked here, but we'll be all right. All right, so Ballad adds crit damage. So let's take one of those. We're not going to level it up yet. So we do have a shop, assuming we can successfully navigate there. And we did not. All right, upgrade an orb, remove an orb. And we've got these 3 pebbles. Usually the pebbles are things you try to remove. Let's do that. The removals can get a little bit expensive later on, so. Another shop over this way that we won't be able to make it to, so no shops on this level for us. We would have to hit like probably a really specific event for us to maybe have a chance at that, which I'm not even sure if it's available in Act 1. So let's check behind the waterfall. It's either a fight or a relic, or it contains 2 additional refreshes. All right, I usually try to skip these paths that lead past like a level of events or, you know, possible fights. This is one of the newer boards and one of the more recent updates, which honestly have not quite figured this one out yet. How to play it effectively, at least. So that ballad that we shot, it adds 1 spiness, and spiness adds to our crit damage. And we were kind of looking at, you know, some kind of a crit build. I was just trying to shoot the bomb. As I say, make sure we're aiming at the bat, because if not, he's going to get a couple free attacks on us. Let's see. This crit, can you come my way? There we go. All right, I see a couple crit-based orbs here. We got Susceptible, which adds Exploitable whenever you trigger a couple of, well, I guess depends on the level, when you trigger so many crits. And Exploitable is essentially just like an extra 10% damage, which can come in handy on like boss fights. Or we have Cruciball. Every attack is a crit, converts every 8 pegs hit to a crit. But it also doesn't activate crits. And how does that level up? Let's take this Susceptible. And let's start leveling up some of these guys now. Since we know we don't have a shop the rest of this. All right, bombs detonated while navigating provide 5 gold, or activated, refresh, and crits contribute to damage 3 times. Let's do that. We have a lot of refreshes and probably wouldn't hurt to get some extra crits. If you can light off all 5 bombs here on the navigating phase, you get a free relic. You can do it once per act. It's not the easiest thing to do, so if you have a way that you want to navigate, it's usually better to navigate where you want to go. There are certain relics that make that almost trivial to get. All right, so we got an option to gain some Must Circle, which is your base damage, or Round Guard. You're immune to attack damage during reloading. So we'll take that because we already said that enemies kind of get a free attack on us while we're reloading. So it should save a little bit of damage each fight. All right, once we get into here, there's plenty of bombs. Say you almost, if you start lighting off bombs in here, you almost kill stuff too quick, but there are a lot of enemies on the board, so should probably consider killing them. Sad little orb throw. Let's see, shuffle. Crits and reloads every 6 pegs. When discarded, shuffle. I don't think I want any of these. Let's little upgrade on that one. Our health, 67 out of 100. We might want to consider a heal before the boss, but aim is longer and displays an additional bounds, or every 4 times the board's refresh, gain 1 Must Circle or Spin Ness. So that does carry over like the amount of refreshes in between battles. So if you get 3 in one and you get 1 in the next battle, it'll trigger that. It doesn't, we're more looking for Spin Ness, but I mean, Must Circle probably doesn't hurt us. So yeah, like see, no matter which way we go, we navigate to the same place. So we could attempt for the bombs, which we didn't even touch any of them. Right, let's skip straight to this, so we can probably one-shot one of these. Another crit. A little unfortunate that snuck through there. Skip this. So you can hit the bomb. I say a lot of times you have to hit that bomb twice just with the way it bounces off of it. Skip some of these pebbles. Not a lot of, let's see. Go for a refresh. All right, as I say, if we can get those into like 2 separate wells, it's a lot more damage. So Ice Circle kind of works with crits because on you pierce. I do enjoy some piercing attacks. Let's take that. Let's take a heal. We're a little lower than I'd like to be. And then every 30 pegs hit, get converted to a bomb. Immediately deal 1 damage to target enemy for every 2 pegs activated, or when applying Bramble to an enemy, apply Blind. So we're not really applying Bramble. So it's one of these two, and probably just powder collection. Bombs are a nice way to clean up some enemies sometimes. So let's check out the Act 1 boss. Let's try that again. All right, we want to try to hit as many crits as we can, especially with Susceptible here, especially in these long boss fights. So So you can see we had a little status effect over here. So every crit shot we do will deal 10% more damage. And with Ballad here, we're adding a little bit of extra crit damage too. So skip Pebble. You only get one skip. There is a relic that lets you skip multiple times, but we don't have that yet. You want to kind of try to clear up some of these vines as you go through by hitting the green round ends. If not, they kind of start trapping your orbs and make playing a little harder. So just, I would say, you're just going to dance around that crit, you're going to hit it. And that little bush guy soaked up attack. Let's say it looks like all of our refreshes are hiding down in this corner right now. Let's start trying to clear out in that general area. I guess we'll hit this crit first. All right, this will pierce the enemy. Let's get the crit. Almost there. We're taking a lot more damage than I was hoping here, but we will heal to full after this boss. I believe at the upper Crucible levels, you do not heal back as much, so not as much of a worry now. None of these are really crit related that we don't have. I don't need another Dag Orb. Let's get a couple upgrades. And then we get a boss relic. Every shot plus one multi-ball, but the multi-balls are smaller. Oh, kinetic meteorite, such a fun relic. Every three pegs we hit, like our orb gets a little explosive energy, gets a lot of extra bounce, kind of keeps your shots alive longer until you hit a refresh. So we're gonna go kinetic meteorite for sure. We got the painter boss here. Fortunately, no crits there. You will start seeing enemies in Act 2 that have shields, and shields can like soak up damage and things like that. So sometimes having targeting orbs can bypass shields. Which I guess the only targeting one we have right now is the susceptible. But I guess we have piercing too. So I guess it's good to have a little bit of everything. Let's see if we can nail this crit. We play at 2 times speed. You can actually play up to 3 times, I believe. But there is a warning that there could be a little bit of messing with the physics of it. But if you really need to, nail a shot, you can always slow it down, but you just have to keep in mind that your orb's going to be traveling slower too. Here's another ice circle. Thinking about this boss, I don't need piercing. Actually, area of attack or things that damage everything aren't as good against her. The ice circle's still good. She has paintings on the wall, and you get like poison damage when you kill them. So you try to not want to kill them too often. You do have reasons to kill them, but I think we're kind of okay with the crits and stuff the way that we're going. Like these 5, maybe we'll find something else neat to go with it. Maybe we'll find like a summoning circle. So let's just keep leveling up what we have. There are some shops. So let's save a little bit of money. Maybe we'll go the right path. hit that one, hit that shop on the right there. It'll give us a little more time to build up some more money. Oh no, did I slow us down? There we go. All right. We really wanted to make sure we navigated the right way there, so definitely didn't want to try to greed anything. All right, no easy crits here. Not saying we won't get lucky and maybe hit one, but... All right, I do see an easy crit. I want to get the piercing. So it clears out most of the board. We're not debuffing enemies. We don't want jack-o'-lantern. So I think this is just a pass. It doesn't really matter where we navigate. It all goes the same place. All right, so we got super boots. You can heal at the end of fights, which is always nice. Increase gold when entering an event node. Or the bad cheese, which pairs with the round guard. If you can get rid of all of your... If you can get rid of all of your orbs, you can... There's like a cheese strat with that. And pardon the pun with the cheese, where you can just... You damage people based on the number of reloads, which actually doesn't work with this boss in particular, because I found that out before. But we're not going to try to do that today. I would prefer the super boots, but... We'll still take it. It's not bad. Let's go this way. Let's try to go this way, I should say. Whenever you gain must circle, increase the amount gained by 1 or additional crits. So I think we're more focusing on crits. Find a globe of radius standing directly in your path. If you listen carefully, you can hear it humming with an earthly energy. You sense that you can make use of its power. Upgrade all pebbles or remove an orb. We're trying to get rid of our pebbles, so let's remove. You can get rid of stuff in the shop too. It just gets more and more expensive the more you do. So those events that let you get rid of things, those are good. So we have 73 gold. I am probably leaning more towards the relic here. First one that caught my eye was the refresh perspective. Every time I refresh the board, any peg that was hit, it upgrades it, does 1 extra damage. So you can add up in those boss fights. That's the one that caught my eye. Short fused, bombs detonate in 1 hit. We do have a little bit of bomb synergy, not looking for that much more. Let's see, electromagnet's not terrible. Consider it. I guess Orbsium activates everything twice. Well, I guess starts off activating twice. It eventually activates 4 times. I feel like that can get pretty strong. It is dense though, so which means you can't shoot it as far. And I don't think it shoots up as high when it hits bombs and with the kinetic meteorite. So we'll pass right now. Since we have the round guard, the enemies, they don't get to hit us with their attacks during reloads. They will get to like advance and get closer to you. So like it's not all sunshine and, you know, but. I was hoping for a refresh there. This guy that we're fighting here gets a little bit of bulwark every turn. I don't remember how that's calculator, if it just increases, but the longer this battle goes on, the harder it becomes, so. Okay, no more shops. So we will spend some money upgrading things. Let's see, collect gold, or collected gold contributes to damage. When your deck is shuffled, each orb's damage and crit are randomly rolled between stat -2 and stat +4. Previously thrown bombs will now refresh as bombs. No, we've got a little bit of extra gold on the board. Why don't we do this? Dungeon die, I'm not a huge fan of. I believe they recently buffed it, so it's probably a little better, but I don't know. I don't like surprises. All right, let's go this way. I do not want extra pebbles, so we get to fight some little boxes. These guys can be a little bit of a pain in the butt. Eventually this ice circle's hopefully gonna pierce through and kill most of them, but let's see if we can maybe at least kill the front one here. A little bit of bomb damage on a couple of the other ones. All right, we do have easy crits, so let's go straight to the ice circle. If not, I would have thrown the pebble. Not taking self-damage. So you trigger crit at every 6 pegs hit. I mean, this does go with our crit stuff. Sure. We'll do we want, I don't think we don't need it. We definitely don't need it. Which path are we looking for? Do we want another elite fight? I think we'll attempt to. Although elite fights a little bit before the boss can be spooky sometimes. You take too much damage, you're not ready. All right, duplication potion. When crits and reloads move, they leave a copy. Let's do that one. I'm not doing spinfection, so that doesn't help us. So now if we see the orb that shuffles, the refreshes and crits, that's one we'd probably want to get our hands on. Which I know we've seen already this run. We just didn't take it because we didn't know what we were going to find this duplication potion. You round a corner and face with an eerie life-size Peglin statue made entirely of gold. It's holding a radiant golden orb in its outstretched hand, and although you're wary of the potential risk, you can't help but be tempted by the statue's alluring gleam. Do I want the golden orb, which gets us a lot more gold? I don't think so. Well, as I say, we did get collected gold contributes to damage, so I guess there is a little bit of synergies to be had there. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have taken it. It's waiting for a crit. This guy doesn't hit you until he gets right up in your face, but when he gets up in your face, he does like 20 plus damage a hit, I believe, so we do want to try to take him out sooner than later. Oh, we're gonna kill him. I was hoping to shoot off the golden orb, but didn't get there. Rub orb's fun, but I think we've collected enough orbs for this playthrough. All orbs have echo 10, so 10% of the previous shot gets added to your next shot. Whenever the enemy's defeated, refresh the board, or bombs do extra damage. Let's do echo chamber. I don't know, we might take a little bit of navigating damage, but lucky. Okay, I did want to definitely shoot that this turn, so I doubt there's any way I kill everything. with this first shot. I don't think there's enough bombs on the board, although we are making bombs ourselves, but... Let's see. I'm gonna hit a refresh. See the one over here. Okay, that's a lot more damage than I was expecting. I think that may have been a good pickup. It wasn't even maxed out yet. And just for funsies, we'll heal up before we head in. Here we go, Shuffle, Reorganizer. That's the one we were just talking about. So that works well because we have a refresher course, so every 4 times we get a buff. We have activated refreshes and crits contribute to 3 times damage. So it's... don't know if I'm gonna hit this crit. Let's shoot down over on this side. Start the exploitable on the boss. Yeah, see these portraits on the wall, they kind of like... Oh, I don't remember the term they use on these pegs. They make them like they don't bounce anymore. So you don't get like the same action. When you kill them, they do come back, but you get spinfection on yourself, so. Yeah, the only way we don't have anything that will hit them in particular, just the bombs. We could target them ourselves if we wanted to, but we're not going to need to kill them. Let's shoot this guy before. Oh, we had crap damage there. Interesting. Because I wasn't paying attention what our damage was at last shot. Not last shot, but last fight, where we actually got a whole lot of damage there. But let's go straight to... Oops. It tricked me. Rev Orb's fun to use with the Kinetic Meteorite. If I grab that would definitely be the last orb we would grab. I think I'm going to grab it just because it's fun. Eventually try to get rid of this pebble. Every shot has +1 multi-ball, but -2 regular damage, 3 crit. Projectile attacks pierce 2 enemies, but bombs deal 75% less damage. Summons a round swirl onto the pegboard whenever 30 pegs are hit, but it's destroyed after 100 uses. That's like, if you take it after Act 1, sometimes it disappears before the end of Act 3. If you take it at the end of Act 2, it should definitely make it through all of Act 3. Status effects you apply have 2 times intensity, but attacks have -10, -0. We're not doing many status effects. So this is nice for piercing. This is nice, just extra pegs being hit. I don't want to do -2, -3, because if we're not critting, sometimes we might not be doing any damage, so let's do squirrels. Help us make sure we hit our crits a little more consistent. The mirrors do damage back to us based on the amount of damage we do to them. They currently reflect 6% of damage. I know, and that's on orbs doing direct damage. So if I skip this guy, come straight here, it won't attack back. Since this is a targeting orb. Although orbs that do direct damage to it do double damage, but Ballad's a very low damage orb, so. And on the contrary, we do half damage on targeting orbs. So let's try to get some gold going. I guess that's where all the damage comes in. this time we were questioning last time why one shot was doing so much damage and the other wasn't. It's a way to shuffle the board with refreshes too. I don't think we need it. Like, it would work with what we have. We just don't need it. Only one place to navigate. Go to this shop if we want. Get rid of our last pebble. Or anything else we just don't care about anymore, but... So many bombs. Okay, we're not leveling that up. Let's check out the map. So there is one more shop further down if we want that way. Yeah, I think let's go to the right. Let's plan on trying to make it to that shop. Keeps doing that whenever I exit out. So let's speed this up, like 2x. Let's go straight to the ice circle. This one is a little annoying because you kind of have like high enemies and low enemies. So even if we pierce through the low enemies, we're not going to be hitting the high enemies, but make sure we're targeting these bats that are right up in our face, which we are. Okay. Some more piercing. Ball length is nice, does splash damage. A targeting one that does splash damage, but there goes our shop. And when you navigate at the end, the more orbs that you hit, or the more pegs that you hit during the battle, those disappear when navigating. So if you kind of know that there's a certain way you want to navigate, you could try to play the board that way, but see, nothing super exciting in Relic Land. I mean, wall bounce contribute to damage, I guess. We're not doing much bomb damage. We could heal, and we could increase our max HP post battle. You pay for that. Let's just remove this. Possibly save up money for the other shop. Crit would be nice here. So you can see this, like, I don't know what you would call this, like signposty arrow thing. It locks your targeting here. So if I was going to shoot something that can target an enemy, it locks it. But my other things that don't target will still shoot at the front enemy. So there are certain enemies that'll do that to you. Looking kind of at this elite fight. Not even sure if elite's the correct term for it, to be honest. I'm kind of going with a little bit of Slay the Spire lingo. But red bombs do damage to you as well to the enemy. They do a lot more damage to the enemy than to you, but you do got to be careful sometimes when there's red bombs on the board. Casual 13, 14, 15,000 damage. 16,000 damage. Plus bombs. Alright, we will take a little heal after this. Oh yeah, and we do have Echo, the Echo ability, so 10%. So we started off our next shot with, you know, a lot of damage. Poltergeist could be really nice for this boss, because it hits everything. It's pretty low damage, but it does hit everything. We're gonna be okay though. All right, this is you can't see the enemies here, but there's a lot of them. So if we can get to our ice circle, or you'll see a lot of bomb damage pop up. Okay, so I killed everything nice and quick. So I think we're going to want to go right here so we can see that other shop. So what's this one do? Whenever a crit is hit, convert 2 pegs to crits. Whenever you heal, deal 3 times the total. 3 times the total heal is damage to the targeted enemy. We'll just take more crits. That's what we do here. All attacks get +0/+1, or whenever you reload, heal 6. A little more crit damage, please. Please and thank you. See, remove half of your orbs, or grab the nearest orb, which ends up being a mirror orb, which just copies a random orb. So we'll take that. So if we look here, we could see, I believe we have one of everything. So we have 2 of these ballads. So one of these mirror orbs ended up turning into a ballad. Oh, I hit a refresh immediately with the rub orb. Kind of kills the extra bounciness of it, but that's okay. This is also a newer board. Summoning Circle. Okay. Summoning Circle's so good. And we definitely need to upgrade that bad boy. Summoning Circle, whatever it falls, whenever you shoot it, it just fires multiple copies of the next orb. And it can go crazy sometimes, so. You see a Summoning Circle, you take a Summoning Circle. And if you see another Summoning Circle, you take another Summoning Circle. Let's see, first peg hit by each orb gets +10. Heal 1, sure. Reload when you refresh, sure. I mean, we've got money. It's our last shop we're gonna see. We could remove the mirror orb. To actually get rid of Susceptible, I think we're done with that. All right, this guy doesn't take damage normally. He takes damage for every peg hit, and then he has like a cap on how much damage he can take, which raises every turn. So you just want to kind of hit as much as possible here. You see his cap raises a little bit each time he moves, or is it every time he moves, or I don't know. It didn't seem to get moved that time. You can always shoot into these because these are like, they don't go away, but pretty close to the end. It would be dumb just to not heal. Especially when you have the money. All right, this is a fun relic, but we are not going to take it. It takes away half of your max HP, but you get, you heal every time you hit a peg, and it does damage every time you hit a peg to a unit. but we're not going to take that. It's nice when you can take it early and still have the chance to gain some max HP. But especially against this boss, if you don't kill this boss quick, their attacks get pretty strong. So we're going to leave that for another turn, another time. And the way that I usually try to handle this boss, this blue one right here heals. So that's usually the one I try to take out first. We can't hit it with the rub orb right now. We can hit it with an ice circle. So I think that's what we're gonna do, and let's see if we can, there we go. And then they will shuffle around each turn, so. Another ice circle, so we can still hit it. This we're gonna go for here. Hit it, hit it, hit it, hit it. All right, so 2 of them are down. I know the red one's attack. I'm not sure the specific purpose of the purple one. But at this point, it's going to be hard for us to lose this, so. If you know the specific purpose of the purple one, I would be happy to hear. We're finally got to see Summoning Circle in a little bit of action here. And it's going to make our board look silly because it's just going to keep making copies of things and reshuffling them around. And that is a Peglin Cruciball 0 win. And I give you a nice little summary screen at the end here. I believe in a recent update to Peglin at the time of this video, they are talking about adding an Act 4, which will be interesting to see if and how they implement that. So we might have that to look forward to in the future. But I appreciate everybody stopping in and watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Take care.